Hola Kules, this is FCB Mumbai, the home of FC Barcelona in India. Barcelona came back with a strong 5-2 win over Real Betis at home after a much disappointing run of just 2 points in the past 12 games for them. Is this the start to a new chapter? Are we going to see a new Barcelona come up? There's some excitement ever since the board has resigned. Let's get into the discussions without any delay. So, Kulesh, joining me on the panel today are once again Rahul Chalke. We've got Mohit who makes a comeback, and we've got a new face in Rylan Coutinho today. So, Mohit, we'll start off with you. Barcelona have offloaded a few players, and we've seen the games have a bit of a curved path. We've not exactly been the best team. We've lost, we've drawn, but we've also shown hopes of, an old Barca, a little sprinkle of here and there. With respect to the new squad, what do you feel? How has Barcelona's game evolved, and what could we expect from the games we are about to see?
For now, we definitely have missed the finishing in front of the goal, and that's why we miss our favorite Luis Suarez. And we lack a proper number 9, and I hopefully Griezmann gains his confidence back and scores again and again for us. And for now, our midfield has been quite good with the introduction of the 17-year-old Pedri, who has been phenomenal for us. And Pjanic has made some few appearances and played some few minutes, and he has showed what he's capable of. And we can expect more, and let's see what happens.
Well, he spoke about Griezmann scoring. I hope you guys know that Griezmann has a new haircut, the haircut which brings him a lot of goals. I hope that has something to do with Griezmann returning to form. Rylan, we started off
Yes,
with
true.
two strong wins, good goal scoring games against Villarreal and against Celta, but then we went dry. Against Sevilla, we drew. We lost against Getafe with a very heavy heart. We lost against our arch rivals in the Clasico. Then we drew again to Alaves. And then we won 5-2 at home against Real Betis. Thoughts on these games and how we didn't start in the Barca way.
So, like you see, there was a huge impact after the damaging Champion League defeat in the start. So we were in a transition of building up. So as Koeman, we had like two pre-season matches, and he went on experimenting with players, and he tried to analyze all the players, like who will fit where. Like he even gave a young talent Ricky Puig a chance to play, and also he, as per his tactical analysis, he decided what will happen. So the first game he played a set of formations where he experimented by playing Dembele on the left. Then the next game, and it worked well with him. I honestly feel that the point of dropping, maybe it can be in a positive way for Koeman in future, but like he went on like not keeping the players fixed on a particular position. Like now, if you're playing Ansu Fati on the left, and then you play Dembele on the right, like how we seen the victory versus Real Betis. But then after that, at one point, we just realized when the game is going on paper, it is showing us 4-2, 4-2-1, 4-2,
Two to
1
three,
to
one.
the
Or
formation.
3-2-1.
So but as we go ahead, we see that they are changing their transition to 4-4-2. Like Ansu Fati and Griezmann are playing as strikers. So like honestly, I feel that we should have a standard formation as to which will help the team progress. Like if you are like fixed on one particular formation, let the team progress and grow and get more dominant on that particular position. So that as we reach, like as we are growing, we are in a growing stage. We can't expect consecutive demands from Barcelona because Koeman is restructuring the amount of players that we dropped out from our team, including our world-class striker Luis Suarez. So as we change the formation, that even puts a lot of pressure on the players. Like Griezmann, no doubt, is a world-class player, but at times when his position is changing, it's affecting his confidence also at the same time. So like if we see for like Clasico point of view, no doubt we were a better team, but towards the end of time, like I don't know whether it was a panic substitution by Koeman. We just put in 5 attackers inside and our entire defense was empty. But that is also what a manager has to do. Risk. Without risk, we'll never know. maybe if those 5 attackers could have bought us 1 goal and bought us a draw, but it was all about the risk. So I honestly feel that Barca has to remain on a standard thing like what we know. Like now, see the formation what we use for Betis, we know that is bringing results. We should try to get the team more stronger on that particular aspect.
I agree with you, Rylan.
Okay,
So Rahul, as Ryland mentioned, there were a lot of rotations with Koeman's squad. So do you think the drop in points they are kind of excuse because Koeman was attempting to get that perfect squad for a good finish to the end of the season and a season filled with trophies potentially?
I wouldn't say that it was an excuse. Mohit and Ryland summed it up perfectly. We are creating chances, but we are lacking in front of the goal. We miss a number 9, and the Suarez leaving had a big impact on the team. And talking about Luis, he's suffering from COVID-19 right now. So we wish him a very speedy recovery, and we hope he's back on the pitch for. I mean, they are kind of a rivals, Atletico de Madrid. So Suarez,
Oh yeah, that was
get well soon.
we
So
miss
again,
Suarez
once
a
again,
lot. Sorry, go on.
we miss Suarez. We miss a number 9, and we are lacking in front of the goal. We are creating chances. Koeman is experimenting, and more than anything, I think we miss Ricky Puig. He's not getting chances, which hurts a bit. But I hope that Koeman finds a system or some way to include him because we know his potential. We have seen it so many times, and yeah, once again, I hope that we can get back in form and not drop points ahead in La Liga.
We miss Suarez, we miss him a lot, and we really hope Griezmann starts getting into that scoring form because of the number 9 we need. However, in the Champions League, we are playing football like we are the perfect team. Mohit, Ryland, Rahul, what do you guys think? We'll go in order. What do you guys think is the winning formula for us? Because in the group stages of the Champions League, we've always ended up on top for some reason. So is this just because we are the great Barca or because of the intimidation or we just seem to have this winning formula? We'll start off with you, Mohit.
For me, I guess it's the competition itself, the pressure, the fans. I know there's no fans right now, but still the presence of the people and the fans around make them like the players go like full on, like full pressure mode, and they perform and they want to be the best at the best level. So I guess that's the point that they go on and compete so good.
Rylan, what do you think?
Honestly, I trust me, Jude. I honestly feel Barca when it comes to Champion League every season. Right after we have won the treble from 2015, like every season you have seen, Barca has that winning power in them that they just want to be the best. Right from 2016, Barca is so strong throughout, and then that one match comes which literally takes away the dream away. Like 2016, 17, 18, 19, like even the defeat for Bayern Munich was not we didn't expect it because we performed, we literally destroyed Napoli at Camp Nou though we didn't have fans. So that was extremely, like, I really see the winning strength in Barca when it comes to Champions League. And now also this season 2020 season 2021, you see Barca how we have started. We have been top of the table right after having strong competitors like Juventus, who has player like Cristiano Ronaldo in that. Still, we are top of the table, or having a team like
But
having tough
Cristiano was on the
competitors.
bench. Cristiano was on the bench. We didn't face up
No,
against Cristiano.
I
But
mean, we
no
didn't
doubt
face
we
him. He was
have
COVID
played.
positive,
Yeah, not on the
but
bench also. He was
he
in
would
the
have made a
hospital.
difference.
At
Yeah,
home,
but no
sorry.
doubt we played other teams like Dynamo Kiev and the other team. So no
Ferencvaros.
doubt. So
Ferencvaros.
still, Barca managed to remain top, and now the next 3 matches, which I'm absolutely positive about it that Barca is still going to do well because when it comes to Champions League, I literally see Barca having that winning and competitiveness inside them.
Some very strong words from Rylan there. Given our poor run in the Champions League in the knockout stages, Rylan is positive. That's what we hope every Kule is. I mean, I don't mean to
I'll
degrade
I'll
Barcelona, but
I'll
come
mention
on.
a special stat. I'll mention a special stat. 2017-18 Champions League, 18-19 Champions League, and 19-20 Champions League. Barca have just lost 3 games. I don't have to
Yeah.
say which are those 3 games.
And the
We
sad
literally
part
got
is
knocked out by
we
just
won our
losing that
games
one
at
game.
home. We won our games at home. We
We lose
even
and
beat Liverpool. We beat the other teams as well. I
Roma.
think Roma. Yeah, we did beat Roma, and I think we went into the Roma game not realizing that we're going to lose. We thought at the most, even when they scored the first goal, we were like, "We are Barca. We are getting this." So that was really shocking. I mean, we all remember the sad Iniesta image, which I don't want to remind every Kule about, but it
it
is
was
what
his
it
last
is.
Champions League appearance.
Yeah.
I shouldn't have brought that out. Okay, now let's talk about the positives that we've noticed in Barcelona. We've spoken about Pedri. We've spoken about the other talents. We know Ricky Puig is not getting the time, the minutes he needs because of some reason. Did everyone see Ricky Puig's retweet of that video? So there was this video on Twitter which basically a user pointed out that Ricky Puig was actually a pretty good player against a physical Atletico Madrid, and he's got no idea why Ronald Koeman is not playing him. And Puig actually retweeted that as if to give a virtual statement like, "Bring it on, I'm ready." Not only Puig, even Fati has been a gem for us. Sadly, there's an injury which has ruled him out from 3 to 4 months, which might see someone else step up in his place. So, Rahul, who do you think during this period of injury, even Coutinho isn't fully fit, he is working on coming back? Who do you think will be the key factor other than Messi to lead Barcelona on in this stage?
I'd say Fati had a pretty tremendous season up till now until he got injured. But although he's injured, there are many young talents in this team that can, do the required work. For example, there's Trincao. Trincao is lagging a bit, but a goal or two could change a lot of things. Apart from that, there is Dembele, who has been in a really good form this season. So I would especially point that out. He has got 3 goals and 3 assists, I guess, after coming back from a long injury. He scored against Juventus. He scored against Ferencvaros. He had a good game against Alaves as well to some extent. Had a good game against Betis as well. So he's there. The Messi, of course, I don't have to say anything about him. There's Coutinho, he was in fabulous form up till his injury, and he has got the medical green light for Atletico as well. So yeah, there is not much of an issue with Fati getting injured. It's just that when he's back from injury, he gets back to the form he was in before it.
I agree with you, Rahul. We needed Mohit. We needed a much needed win against Real Betis, which we got. Also, Lionel Messi's scoring streak, which was facing a drought in terms of open goal play. He finally got that as well. Even against Argentina, he was a bit unlucky because VAR ruled out his goal, which I believe shouldn't have been ruled out. A lot of players believe shouldn't have been ruled out. But then again, that's what happened. Barcelona rising with confidence. What do you feel has this international break, along with the confidence of the Barcelona players, re-risen? What does it mean for us now? Remember, we are facing up Atletico next.
So the international break will definitely make our players more confident as they are getting to play much more and they are getting to play in their preferred position. So there might be a boost of confidence and hopefully everyone is not tired and like they can play at their best and compete for the best. And let's just hope that we win actually.
Right?
Due to this international break now, there has been issue. I would say, why is it needed? क्या जरूरत है international break की? Because अभी already competitiveness है. There are games of every 3 days. There is Champions League. There is La Liga. In some days, even cup games will start. So I'm not getting the point of the international break. Not to mention that players are getting tested positive rapidly now. There was Salah, there was Firmino. I mean, there are many players who got tested positive. So this international break might affect a bit. I mean, in a positive, I shouldn't be saying it, but Suarez is COVID positive and he won't be playing for Atletico against us. That's kind of advantage for us, but there's no point in winning like that, is there?
Yeah.
Rylan, what do you have to say about this? Do you
To an
think the
extent,
international
to some extent, sorry to cut you, Jude.
No problem.
To some extent, I feel that it actually boosts players' confidence. Like those players, like especially for us, like Griezmann, I see a different form of Griezmann when he's playing for France. Like I see more of Griezmann like in France compared to FC Barcelona. Like there are few games where I see Griezmann lot, but every time he performs for France, he's phenomenal. Trust me, he's phenomenal. He's like the Griezmann we used to see in the past. So like such international breaks are beneficial for players like Griezmann who like gains their confidence back. And now when we are facing such big rivals, Atletico Madrid, and this is a chance for Griezmann again to prove himself, to play against his former club and score against his former club, and create goals on his own and score. Like he has having a rough patch. Trust me, he's having a rough patch. But we can see that confident. Like he wants it. He wants to be the best player of Barcelona. So to some extent, I feel the international break may help him to boost his confidence. And yeah, that's it. That's it.
I mean,
Not to forget.
Ryland just mentioned a very good point that Griezmann has been really good for France, because I guess that change in role, the change in position, there's a pretty interesting thing. You remember that during the Real Betis game, Messi was benched and Griezmann started. Although he missed five chances, that's a different story. He created five as well, and there were five pretty good chances. So I think that's there the positional issue. But once he gets that form in front of goal, I guess he's not going to stop. Just going to go on scoring, and I hope that starts with Atletico.
Also, not to forget, Griezmann is playing his old club, like his club where he became famous and the world-class player he is now. So it might be a big game for him. So let's see what he does.
Yeah, Rylan, you were
Like
saying?
yeah, so I honestly feel like if you notice, like if we have watched Griezmann playing from 2018 World Cup to his past club Atletico Madrid, and like you always notice Griezmann is a player who likes to attack on counter. That's how Atletico Madrid has been played. So if you notice for Barca also, like when we are on a counter attack or we are moving towards attack, he creates space for himself in such a way that a ball has to be put. But to some extent, the vision of our players, they avoid to see that. Like we can see Griezmann making those runs and having like to create one-on-one chance. And I honestly feel the most important player currently who's required to play full 90 is Pjanic. Pjanic has that vision because of his experience. He has that vision. He knows he has a blind spot. He knows when the player is taking a run, when without even looking and making the opponent have that awareness about it. So I just feel the main key, like to push Griezmann ahead, we need to add Pjanic to our formation to play full 90 and not just as a substitute.
So Griezmann, I also feel the thing is with when he's with Barcelona, he has to defend that 120 million euro sort of thing, the buyout clause. He has to constantly defend that. Whereas with France, he is a free player. He's playing for his country in a role where everyone's his friend, where no one's going to shout at him for missing. None of the fans are going to give him the rolling eyes that you're taking a big salary, and other factors like that. And about Pjanic, Busquets had a very special place in each and every Kule's heart. And we weren't particularly excited with the arrival of Pjanic because of Arthur's departure. But Pjanic has showed us through his game that he is more than capable of being a Barcelona player. I've said it in past podcasts that he has Barcelona feet. He shows he's got a kind of, special connection to be with this club. And I think he has every possible, need to start with this club and show what he's capable of. He might be the one who actually is a difference between us going trophyless and us probably winning more than 2 trophies in a season. Any other points, guys?
I mean, I would say that yeah, Pjanic needs to play 90 minutes. That's quite important. Although Busquets, as you said, Jude, is close to every Kuli's heart, I think his time is kind of up. He needs to play more from the bench rather than start for the whole of the 90 or 70 or 80 minutes of whatever he's getting. I mean, he still might be capable of creating magic, but as everyone has observed, he has been quite inconsistent this season, along with Jordi Alba. I really think that some of the senior players aren't up to their mark, including Lionel Messi. So our young talents are performing well, so they should be getting more chances. And I think I'm not getting this. Ricky Puig needs to play. Ricky Puig really needs to play in that in the starting lineup, and he needs to be there because De Jong in the back along with Busquets isn't really working. We need Pjanic, and if we are going to sub off Coutinho after 60 to 70 minutes, at least we can give that 20 to Ricky Puig. He would adapt pretty well in that system, and there is no issues with his physicality. As you said, Jude, there is a video of him against Atletico Madrid taking that press, and we don't need to really watch that video. We watched that game live, and we know how fantastic he was. So yeah, that's there. Ricky needs to play. Pjanic needs to play, and we need to at least start finding solutions now, because as we approach, this is middle of the season. If we keep dropping points, and if Madrid or Atletico take the lead, I think it would be kind of impossible to win La Liga then.
I agree.
Also to add to, like, it's not only just Madrid and Atletico. We can see Real Sociedad also, like, they are currently top of the table. And one more thing, like, which I noticed about Pjanic being on the field, if you have watched the game Barcelona versus Alaves, you have noticed, like, the entire midfield, including the forwards, all are in attack, and Pjanic is controlling everything from behind. Like, we are damn
he didn't even have to see or thread the passes. He was just picking up
envisioning
passes.
it. Yeah.
Like, we couldn't see anything. We couldn't see those passes coming, but he did.
Brilliant precocity. Brilliant precocity.
Pjanic was literally playing like how we play on the PS. Like, as a player, we won't have that vision. But Pjanic was too good. Like, trust me, after I seen his performance versus Alaves, no doubt it was an unlucky day for Barcelona. But the attack that we did, we could say Alaves was damn lucky that day, that they got saved from FC Barcelona's attack that day.
I agree. And there might be a lot of concerns, a lot of what ifs, a lot of ifs and buts. But Kules, one thing which has been confirmed is that FIFA has postponed the Club World Cup, which means that FC Barcelona is the only club in history to win 6 titles in a year. We are still the only club to hold the sextuple. So FC Bayern fans, if you're watching this, you may have thrashed us, but you still won't win the sextuple this year. Better luck next time. And guys,
we'll get a revenge soon. Don't worry.
Yeah, soon enough. Be prepared. Be prepared. Not just Bayern. Everyone be prepared. And in case we lose, we'll be deleting this video. So, so guys, that's it from us at FCB Mumbai. Do keep supporting us. Do keep watching us. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe this video. Do follow us on all our social media channels. In case you are a Kule residing in Mumbai, please do hit us up. Please do join us. There are a lot of stuff we've got planned. The openings are pretty soon for all the screenings, for all the footy sessions. The government has given us and lifted a few restrictions, so we plan to resume things soon. And as always, keep supporting Barca. Visca Barca, Visca Catalonia. Jai Hind. See you soon, Kule.